Recording is now in progress. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pushtaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachaline Nivasisha Sunya Bhari Pashtatara Satarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome, Abha Jamavati. Thank you for joining us.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Hare. So let me just share with you the Brihat Bhagatamrta. We're on part 2, chapter 4. I think yeah. I don't think any of you have the hard copy with you. I don't think so.
Jambavati has, but she will not bother to get it. I know she's saving the books so they're preserved.
Yeah, I have all in plastic covered. I don't want to open it because when I open it will be destroyed. No, I want to sit and look at them.
All right. They're sacred books, so they're spiritual books, I'm sure.
Yeah, the holy books my girls gave me last year, my birthday present.
I did. Come on.
Do you know,
You're a girl, you're not a boy, so that's what I'm saying.
do you know, on that regard, just I was reading, there's a book I'm reading at the moment. It's called The Saints of Raj, and it describes the lives of the Babajis and their dedication to the holy name, etc. It's quite interesting. It's not exactly our line in every sense of the term, but their dedication to the holy name is often quite inspiring. And there's a story there of one Babaji who would worship the book Srimad Bhagavatam. He would never ever not speak on anything other than the Srimad Bhagavatam. That was his vow, not to utter any words that weren't in connection with Srimad Bhagavatam. And he would worship Bhagavatam just like a deity, the book. He would offer the Bhagavatam Bhoga, he would offer Arti, he would put the Bhagavatam to sleep at night, he would wake up the Bhagavatam in the morning. Exactly like a deity, he would worship Bhagavatam. Whereas, quite inspiring, you know. He would, in that way, he was worshipping Krishna because he saw Krishna manifest in the Bhagavatam. So he would worship the Bhagavatam exactly the same way that he worship a deity, putting to sleep and waking up and offering arti, etc. every day. Yeah. All right, Hare Krishna. So we're going to begin today's reading with text 95. And this is a recap of where we're reading. Gopa-kumara is speaking to, he's actually relating this visit to Vaikuntha, and he's relating it to his disciple. Remember, who's also asking him, came to Gopa-kumara and asking him about the Gopal mantra which he had. So Gopa-kumara is explaining his experience. So he's just explained about Vaikuntha, and now he is reflecting on that to his disciple. Yep, he's had some more reflections and realization of his experience. All right, so that's where we join it. Text 95. We begin today. So anyone would like to read? Gayatri Mother, you're a reader. Shital, if you would like to read. Mother Gayatri, you might be busy.
If nobody reads, I will, but I am a bit busy.
Okay, no, then I can read. And if anyone wants to read, anyone comes in and they like to read, please feel free. I might have to stop a few times to blow my nose. Excuse me, I have a bit of a cold here. Okay. Check the chat. Someone's chatting. I have to be silent today as I'm at work. No problem, Mother Sita.
Sorry, Prabhu, are you in India?
I'm in Mayapur, yes.
Listen, I'll text you medicine. You can go and buy Septilin. It's antibiotic, Ayurvedic antibiotic. Get it, and you'll be.
Great, thank you, Mother. If you could do that, that would be that's very kind of you. Thank you. Yeah, I would definitely try it. All right, text 96. Okay, we're just reading the translation here. In my heart, I then concluded that by the great mercy of the Lord, I had now surely gained the ultimate fruit to be acquired from all my prior births and endeavors. All right, so going to Vaikuntha and seeing the Lord of Vaikuntha. Yeah, commentary. Having described something of what had happened to him and what he had done in Vaikuntha, Gopa-kumara now hints at what had been going on in his mind. He had been thinking that he had attained the complete perfection of his life. Text 97. Oh, what unimaginable happiness! What an exalted abode! What a wonderful master! And how greatly wonderful his mercy. Commentary. Gopa-kumara uses the word idam, this, to express that he perceived these wonders directly. But he does little more than show his astonishment. Aho! Because these glories of Vaikuntha cannot be compared with anything else. To persons who have yet to see them, very little can be said. These glories cannot even be imagined, so they surely cannot be described. All right? Cannot be imagined. If you was to sit there and try and write and use your imagination to try and describe what is Vaikuntha, and imagination can be quite imaginative, isn't it? The amazing things that people come up with in stories and tales and etc. And even if you're gifted with a great imagination, you will come nowhere near to actually giving a real insight into what is Vaikuntha. Yeah. Simply beyond one's imagination. So persons who have yet to see them, very, very little can be said. Still, the Vaishnavas, still Gopa-kumara is doing. He's relating because he's that personal experience. So he's relating it, yeah. So although they cannot be described, he is describing it. Okay, next text. After some time, by the Lord's kindness, I obtained the intimate personal service of fanning him with a chamara. Right. He's got some service. He's become a pujari. He's serving him with a chamara. And I constantly felt the bliss of seeing the Lord as I played for him on my flute. All right. So he's still in his Gopa-kumara clothes, as a young cowherd boy. He is not taken on the form of 4 arms and all the opulences of the residence of Narayan. And he plays the flute, as cowherd boys are oft to do. So this is pleasing to Lord Narayan. Yeah. At first, Gopa-kumara could see Lord Narayan only in brief audiences. After this initial training, however, he was allowed a regular service at the Lord's side. He earned this privilege not by his own qualifications, but by the Lord's causeless mercy. Now, that's a good lesson there for us. If we have managed to obtain some service to the Lord, maybe cooking, maybe making garlands, which is not available to everyone. You could say it's quite exclusive. So often it's quite a privilege to have that service. But here's a nice meditation. It's by the Lord's kripa. It's not by our own qualification. Yeah, we should never think, oh, now I've been recognized finally for my devotion and dedication. Now I have this service of dressing Radha Krishna, it may be. Yeah. No, it's the causeless mercy of Krishna, kripa. So nice lesson here. Yeah. Help us to remain in the mood of humility, yeah, to always contemplate the Lord being very merciful to our fallen selves. yeah, and given us an opportunity to render some insignificant service. Yeah. In addition, by virtue of being a naturally expert flute player, Gopa-kumara had the rare privilege of entertaining Lord Narayan. Right, so what's that entertainment? Let's read on. Text 99. By the habit of my past practice, I would sometimes loudly repeat in various ways, "Oh Krishna, oh Gopal, oh Krishna, Gopal." Commentary. These two names of the Lord, Krishna and Gopal, were so dear to Gopa-kumara that he found innumerable ways to chant them. Right, so he's probably modulating his voice in different ways. Yeah, in different meters, perhaps. He's singing the refrain, "Oh Krishna, oh Gopal." Yeah. And so, as he enjoyed life in Vaikuntha, he was also being prepared to move on to his higher destination. All right, so here's a higher destination above Vaikuntha. Let's read on. The seed of discontent with living in Vaikuntha was beginning to take root in his heart. Okay, here he goes again. He's feeling discontent even in Vaikuntha. All right. Next text, 100. I always sang openly in excellent prayers of his activities in Gokula, with which reveal his greatest glories. Gokula is Rajabhumi, the land of Mathura, with the all-attractive performance of Sankirtan. Gopa-kumara described to Lord Narayan the Lord's own childhood pastimes in Gokula. All right, so he's there with Lord Narayan, but he's very much a Krishna Bhakta, yeah, as a Gopal. So he's preaching about the glories of Gopal, Krishna Gopal, to Lord Narayan. Text 101. The residents of that place, laughing with hearts melted by affection, often came to me when I was outside the Lord's presence and spoke to me in no uncertain terms, like teachers in instructing the student. All right, so they probably got some words to say to him about the way he's conducting himself. Yeah, because remember in the beginning, he was told to follow certain rules of awe and reverence in coming before Lord Narayan. So he's interacting with Lord Narayan more and more like he's interacting with Gopal. Okay, someone needs to mute there. Let me. Oh, 1 second. Let me go muting. 1 second. Let me mute. Sital, I just muted Sital. Hare Krishna. Okay, text 102. The residents of Sri Vaikuntha said, "You should not address the Lord of Lords like this. And don't sing his praises that way. Just recite the standard prayers about his unlimited, most amazing glories." All right, so here it is. Yeah, you don't do like that. Here's the prayers. Here's the songbook. You just stick to the songbook. You know, this is the way we glorify Lord Narayan. Here, this is the way we do things here. This is what more or less to say. Commentary. The Vaikuntha devotees disliked hearing Lord Narayan addressed in such familiar ways as "My dear Krishna" and "Hey Gopala." In fact, they disapproved of addressing him by name at all. So they called the Lord, yeah, "Oh Lord, oh my Lord." Yeah. They felt uncomfortable hearing songs that focused on the Lord's childhood pastimes in Gokula. They wanted to hear the Lord glorified in the Vaikuntha style. Okay, so the elaborate prayers, Sanskrit sequence of prayers in meters and Pacific meters, like the Purusha Shukta perhaps. So that's what they're trying to get him to toe the line. Yeah. To annihilate, what was it? Yeah, text 103. To annihilate the wicked and protect the civilized and to cheat Kamsa, the Lord disguised himself as a cowherd. by his illusory energy. Okay, poetry. As far as these Vaikuntha Vasis are concerned, the Lord only pretends to be a cowherd boy in order to deceive the evil King Kamsa of Mathura. Krishna had to cheat Kamsa to get rid of the wicked demons like Putana and protect decent persons like Lord Vasudeva. But Gopa-kumara's advisors honestly believe that the Supreme Lord of all lords is never actually such a degraded creature as a cowherd, all right? A degraded creature as a cowherd. And this is what the Sri Vaishnavas, this is their line, this is their meditation. Okay, yeah, there's Krishna, and he's non-different. He is the Lord of Vaikuntha, but he's coming down from his position as the Lord and serving a specific purpose. And here acting like someone who herds cows. Yeah. In one sense, from the position of Varna and Ashram, although they all have respect for each Varna and each Ashram in a non-envious society, but being a cowherd is like being a shepherd. You know, it's a bit down there on the social rung. So this is how they view Lord Narayan's acting out as Krishna. Yeah. But we understand from our acharyas that the actual original personality from which Lord Narayan comes to play the role of a ruler is Krishna. Yeah. That's the sweetest, that's the original sweetest pastimes of the Lord, actually, is in Gokula, where he's not addressed with great awe and reverence. He's actually approached in great intimacy and sweetness. You know, that's the actual origin from which the Lord expands himself by the Chatuvyuha and manifests as Lord Narayan, etc. Yeah. So there's not many here today. Please feel free to make some comments if you like, or some questions. Okay, text 104. Devotees of the Lord have little regard for tales of his illusory affairs, all right? So they see it as his illusory affairs. The real affairs is being the Lord of Vaikuntha, is being God, yeah. Such narrations may be suitable in the beginning of devotional practice, but they do not factually glorify the Lord. Okay, so in the beginning you may hear some fun stories about Gokula, you know. They're just there to attract those who are not attracted to Lord Narayan. Commentary. Maya means illusion, magic, or deception. The Supreme Lord may sometimes play tricks by pretending to assume forms that are not actually his eternal forms. Surupa is known as also Swayam Prakash, yeah, the original form. For example, Lord Vishnu showed himself disguised as Mohini, the most attractive woman. But in fact, the personality of Godhead is always male, never female. His real feminine counterpart has her own identity. Well-informed Vaishnavas, therefore, do not take the Lord's illusory shows very seriously, like Mohini Murti, perhaps even like the universal form. Yeah. A person dissatisfied with this argument might counter that the descriptions of the Lord's illusory activities are indeed heard and appreciated by knowledgeable Vaishnavas. He might even quote a statement by the first spiritual master of all Vaishnavas in the material world, and that's Lord Brahma. And here we have that quote coming up. Quote, the Supreme Lord's illusory activities in association with his different energies should be described, appreciated, and heard in accordance with the Lord's teachings. If this is done regularly with devotion and respect, one is sure to get out of the Lord's illusory energy. Okay, unquote. In reply to this objection, the Vaikuntha Vasis argue that accounts of the Lord's illusory activities are suitable only for beginners in devotional practice. Such narrations about the Lord's Maya, including his pastimes in Gokula on earth, are not fit for glorifying the Almighty Lord of Vaikuntha. All right, so all the wonderful stories of Krishna lifting Govardhan hill, Krishna killing Bakasura, Krishna stealing yogurt, you know, the Ras Leela pastimes, etc. They're all illusory. Yeah, the real upasana, or the real worship, is to glorify Lord Narayan. Yeah, this is what is being stated here. Excuse me. So pause for 1 second. Actually, this cold is my fault. I went to the Jalangi the other day and I had a bit of a weakness in my body, but I couldn't resist but jump in a Jalangi and go swimming. And it was quite cold. So now I've got a nice reaction from Mother Jalangi in the cold. So anyway, Hare Krishna. So everyone okay out there? I mean, I won't ask because no one's got their camera on, but I guess you devotees here, normally it's not possible. So that, I mean, that's fine. Otherwise, it's good if someone does, but it's okay. You might be otherwise engaged. But if you've got any questions or comments, please feel free. Otherwise, continue reading. I'm trying to dramatize the reading a bit so we can become more absorbed. Yeah. All right. So we're all aware what's going on here. So let's 105. But some of those residents of Vaikuntha said, among the Lord's inconceivable activities, those playful pastimes are also his. So there's no fault in chanting about them. Okay, so the Vaikuntha Vasis are having discussion amongst themselves. All right. So some of them are correcting Gopal, and some of them are thinking, no, why not? It is not different. Yeah. There's no fault in glorifying the Lord. We have a special guest coming in, Madhu Mangal Prabhu, after a long time, so just let him in. Try to say hello.
Jai, he saw my message.
Okay, Hare Krishna Madhu Mangal, special guest we have. You can hear us? I guess you can't hear. Can you hear? Everyone else can hear. You have to unmute.
We can hear you, Prabhu. We can hear you.
Yeah, but he can't hear me. I'm asking him to say Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Oh,
Hare
that's
Krishna.
it.
Sorry, Hare Krishna. I just logged in now. I am in the car. I'm driving back home.
No problem. Nice to see you again. Nice to be with you again.
All of you. All guys to Shila Prabhupada.
No problem. There's not so many here with us tonight, but welcome. So we're just reading about Gopa-kumara's in Vaikuntha, and he's glorifying the Lord of Vaikuntha and interacting with him as if he is Gopal Krishna. And the residents of Vaikuntha are having issues with this, but there's differences of opinion amongst each other. Yeah. So let's read the commentary to 105. Commentary. One group of Vaikuntha Vasis maintain that the Lord's pastimes as a cowherd are his eternal leelas rather than temporary shows of Maya like the creation of the material world. The other group might have questioned what pleasure there could be in pastimes, where the Lord has to run in fear from his mother, cry for her breast milk, labor attending cows, and wander in the forests that are strewn with thorns. The answer is simply that the Lord's activities are dubhoda, beyond logical analysis. Yeah, just this reminds me that I was watching one discussion between a devotee and a well-known atheist. And this devotee was, perhaps I would say wrongly, he was describing about Krishna and describing about, he was presenting God as being Krishna, And then he was describing about the activities in Vrindavan. So he was describing about he herds cows, etc. So as devotees, we find that very sweet. We find that very attractive. But this atheist, he said, words to the effect, well, I'm sorry, herding cows, I'm sorry, that doesn't do anything for me at all. What's the big deal about herding cows? He wasn't attracted. So in other words, we shouldn't, these intimate, personal leelas of Krishna should never be explained to those who are unfaithful. Yeah, lest they make an offense. Yeah, like he did. He said, what's the big deal? Someone's herding cows. What are you so excited about that about? Here's atheist. So in similar discussions going on here, somewhat similar, but not completely the same. Yeah. Okay. So the Lord, the activities do bodha, beyond logical analysis, that God has a stick and he's herding cows. Yeah, it's not the type of thing it's not who is it who painted the Sistine Chapel? Who's that artist painted the Sistine Chapel? Any learned devotees on culture here? And you know the two fingers, they'd have the finger where God's on a cloud and he's pointing a finger or something and there's like electricity and he's got a big beard and he's creating.
Da Vinci, maybe Da Vinci.
Yeah, Da Vinci perhaps, yeah.
Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah, so that's how generally God is portrayed as being the creator. But if Da Vinci, if the real thing was known, then Da Vinci should have painted on the ceiling cows, cowherd boys, Govardhan Hill, gopis, Mother Yasoda, like that. Yeah, and that should have been on the Sistine Chapel. Yeah, think for the faithful. All right. Okay, text 106.
Internet says Michelangelo, I think.
Sorry? Michelangelo,
Internet,
that's correct.
yes.
Yeah. Do you hear that, Mother Mongol? It's actually Michelangelo. Yeah, he obviously hadn't read Srimad Bhagavatam. He hadn't attended any classes on Bhagavatam. Yeah. So 107. Then a few extremely exalted devotees stopped all the others and angrily said, really? Why are you talking like this, as if you had no intelligence? All right, so there's different levels of Vaikuntha Basis, it seems. There's some are perhaps up there in the hierarchy. So they're kind of making their voices known. Yeah. So they can express their opinion now. So 107. Krishna is so kind to his devotees that Sankirtan of any of these activities is glorious and beneficial and satisfying to our divine master. Okay. So remember that Lord Narayan himself is very pleased by the songs of Gopa-kumara. Yeah. So it's pleasing him. So this is what they're saying now. Yeah. So remember, there's some Vaikuntha Vasis who are telling Gopa-kumara to stop singing in such a way. Now they're saying, no, his Sankirtan of any activities related to Krishna is wonderful. Yeah. Just like in that regard, there is some so-called Babajis, you could say, who will never, as a matter of principle, will never like to hear about Krishna on the battle of Kurukshetra. For them, it's not the real thing. For them, let me just hear Ras Lila, Radhakund Lila. Yeah. For them, they've risen above that, or now they've come to the real nectar. But actually, everything about Krishna is nectar. Everything. He's on the battlefield. He's instructing Arjuna. Is mesmerizing. It's attractive. It's mystical. And it increases our devotion. Yeah. It may be that a sadhaka may, more advanced levels of bhakti, raganuga sadhan perhaps, may hear more about the Lord's pastimes in Gokula to enhance his smaran, but he doesn't categorically or doesn't systematically reject the Lord's pastimes outside of Gokula. Everything about Krishna is wonderful. Yeah, whether he's on the chariot or he's dancing in a circle with the gopis, it's all Krishna. It's all nectar. Yeah. So it's saying here. So commentary. Now the Vaikuntha-vasis who best understand the Supreme Lord's glories are speaking. All the Lord's pastimes are transcendental. Okay. And to glorify any of them is auspicious, because the Lord enacts them for the benefit of his devotees. All right, so this point is being made here. Everything is sweet. You know, there's that bhajan and everything, that bhajan, everything is sweet about the king of sweetness. His smile is sweet.
Yeah, the emperor of sweetness.
Yeah, he's the emperor of sweetness. His anger is sweet. His dancing is sweet. His talking is sweet. His flute playing is sweet. So everything is sweet about the Lord of all sweetness. Yeah. So these Vaikuntha-vasis are making this point. So please, yeah, why are you telling Gopa-kumara to stop singing in such a way? Yeah, it's all wonderful. Yeah. So as he said in his own words, so now there's a quote here from the Padma Purana. Although I can annihilate all the Danavas within a few minutes, I perform various pastimes just to entertain my devotees. Just as the fish, the tortoise, and the bird nourish their offspring. Yeah, this is a nice verse. I came across this a few weeks ago. Yeah, just as the fish, the tortoise, and the bird nourish their offspring by respectively watching them, meditating on them, and keeping them in physical contact, so do I maintain my devotees, O lotus-born Brahma. Yeah. So none of, unquote, none of the Supreme Lord's activities, therefore, are creations of Maya, material illusion. So just, I think, Mother Mongols just joined us, Mother Lavanga just joined us. There's a verse that said earlier that some Vaikuntha-vasis, they're describing the Lord's activities in Gokula, herding the cows, to be just illusory and not the real thing. The real thing is the Lord here in the Vaikuntha, is Lord Narayan. He just plays around like this, you know, and it's part of his illusion, just like a Mohini Murti is the illusory representation of the Lord. So that was what some of the Vaikuntha-vasis are saying. And they took Gopa-kumara's side, and they're telling him this. Yeah. So none of the Supreme Lord's activities, therefore, are creations of Maya, material illusion, nor are they purposes like the games of children. Different devotees, however, understand the Lord's pastimes in different ways. Among the residents of Vaikuntha, now speaking with Gopa-kumara, we can discern 3 different groups with 3 different mentalities. The first group consider the informal pastimes of Raj incompatible with the mood of Vaikuntha. The second are more liberal, and the third ardently refuse to discriminate against any of the Lord's pastimes. Okay, so these 3 groups of, I guess they're arguing in a very respectful way. Yeah, because after all, they're in Vaikuntha and there's no modes of material nature. So I'm sure the interaction is very sweet, but they have differences of opinion. Anyone heard that before? Sometimes devotees have differences of opinion? Yes. Even senior devotees have differences of opinion. Yes. The devotees in Vaikuntha have these different attitudes for 2 reasons. First, bhakti takes on different qualities in accordance with the various disciplines performed to achieve it. such as the cultivation of knowledge. Second, the personality of Godhead for his various pastimes requires different moods in his devotees. I just want to highlight something here, that this, in regards to devotees, if we, if we span out a bit and we take into consideration all the world's religions and the diverse ways in which they perceive God and worship, it's because it's described here, yeah. It's based on their specific mood of worship. So therefore, the Lord appears to them in a certain way. So here, even amongst the Vaishnavas, so I'm just saying, you got Christians, and here, because here in Mayapur, as you might guess, every 2 hours or something, you can hear from the mosques around the place, "Ah, Akbar," going across the fields, you know. And and they're very much dedicated. They're very much convinced of their conception of God. Yeah, and you're not going to convince them otherwise in most cases, because God's revealing Himself to them in that particular way based on their worship. So they will experience, Christians will experience, Muslims will experience, Catholics will experience, Jews will experience, Protestants will experience an unquestionable reciprocation with God, which gives them faith. Yeah. But the problem is that they then consider every other religion to be, because it's not the path they followed, they cannot possibly be right. Anyway, that's a whole discussion. But actually, God reveals Himself according to the way in which we worship. But it's not just like if you was to worship Krishna as a postbox, it manifests as a postbox. No, because it will. He will manifest in one aspect of His actual greatness. Just, you know, if you decide to worship God as a lamppost, it doesn't mean that God is a lamppost. Can only take it so far. But if they work, like for Muslims, they very much, I mean, I haven't studied the Quran, but they very much worship Him in a certain way. You know, He cannot have anything material. You cannot portray anything. There isn't anything in this material world that can possibly portray what is God. And that's why they have such an issue with deity worship. Yeah, worshipping the deity. Because it's, for them, God cannot possibly be betrayed in matter at all. And to do so is considered to be a great offense. It is interesting. Then you've got, like, I'm sure some of you watched the installation of Lord Ram in Ayodhya. Very exciting. I was watching it, parts of it. I was very excited to watch it. Got thousands. The first day and the next day, there was, surprised people weren't killed. There's thousands and thousands of persons who have open, no problem at all in seeing God in the form of the deity Ram. No questions. Completely, they'd sit, many have tears in their eyes. And no doubt, Lord Ram's reciprocating with them. So He's revealing Himself. Of course, revelation, we could say, in regards to Vaishnavism, we could say, is when we're not trying to be saying we're the best, but we're just saying that it does get more personal. As you approach God, it gets more personal. So it goes beyond His being the creator, beyond to His actual personal form and His personal pastimes with Yasoda, Radha, like that. Anyway, I've gone on the sidetrack here. I hope that's okay. This came to mind. Yeah. So the last part of this commentary. In any case, none of the Vaikuntha devotees have said anything wrong. Okay, so So I kept going, yes, so the Christians are not saying anything wrong. Well, sometimes they do, but they're worshipping God. Yeah, what they're saying often we agree with. In any case, none of the Vaikuntha devotees have said anything wrong. Without a doubt, pure devotional service in any form can earn one the highest benefit, even entrance into Sri Vaikuntha Dham. This has already been logically established and will be further discussed in latter chapters of Brihat Bhagavatamrta. Okay, so text 108, auspicious number. Sri Gopa-kumara said, at first the words of the Vaikuntha Vasis had made me feel embarrassed. So that's how he felt when they was first kind of chastised. Then I felt satisfied, although in truth the inner core of my heart was not fully appeased. Commentary. The opinion of the first group of devotees embarrassed Gopa-kumara. That of the last group made him feel much more satisfied. To hear the Vaikuntha Vasis disagree over the importance of glorifying the Lord's pastimes in Gokula had pained him like a thorn in his heart. So they're kind of blaspheming, could say. Or they're not blaspheming perhaps, but they're disagreeing. They're degenerating the Lord's pastimes in the Gokula. Because it's where his heart is, he felt pained at hearing that. He had even heard some of them belittle Krishna's Raj Leela, but he had not heard a single word describing the pastimes he cherished most. Later, his mind will be pacified when he hears philosophical conclusions from Sri Narada that vibrate the systematic strings of his heart. Well, that's nice poetic, isn't it? It vibrated the systematic strings of his heart, hearing Narada speak. Yeah. Right, my voice is a little bit weak, so perhaps Mother Lavanga Lajka, are you in any position to read?
Yeah, Prue, I can read.
Okay,
Where are
yeah.
we?
And we're right here, 109.
Okay. I felt somewhat discouraged that I couldn't see the unique form, pastimes, and other features of the lotus feet of my worshipable Lord, Sri Gopal. Commentary. In Vaikuntha, Gopa-kumara couldn't see Sri Gopal's pastimes, his unique entourage and paraphernalia, his special kindness, or the special ways he plays with his devotees, but as indicated by the suffix vat, as if, Gopa-kumara's disappointment was only apparent. There is never any real discouragement in Vaikuntha.
Yeah, it's good to remember Gopa-kumara's Stahi Bhav is as a cowherd boy. Yeah, he has the Sakya-ras. That's his relationship with Krishna. So that's what he finds specifically inspiring, is he's Krishna as a Gopa, and he's a dear friend. He's a bosom friend of Krishna in that regard. So keep that in mind as we're reading through this. That's his relationship with Krishna.
Tips 110. But then I would see Lord Vaikuntanath, the most exalted knower of everything, as the darling son of Nanda Maharaj, see Lakshmi and Dara as Radhika and Chandravali, and see the Lord's personal attendants as the young boys of Raj. Commentary. As soon as Gopa-kumara's mind would begin to complain, his vision would change. He would see Lord Narayan as Krishna, his two consorts as the chief gopis of Raj, and his attending servants as cowherd boys. Not that Gopa-kumara produced this transformation by his own mental power. Rather, it was done by Lord Narayana, who is Sarvajna Siromani, the best knower of everything, and Prabhu, the Supreme Master.
Yeah.
Yet my mind would still feel sad because I couldn't see the Lord and his companions play as they do here in the land of Raj. Sorry, I skipped some. So, since Lord Narayana is the greatest of all omniscient mystics, he knew that Gopa-kumara's mind was disturbed, and since the Lord has all divine energies at hand, he easily made this arrangement to relieve Gopa-kumara's anxiety.
Yeah, this meditation also, it reminds us of when the Lord Chaitanya, he would take darshan of Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. He would generally only see or be absorbed in the form of Jaga, in the form of Jagannath. Yeah. And he wouldn't see Jagannath as we see him. He would see Krishna. Yeah. Jagannath would manifest as Krishna. His big eyes would be manifest as lotus eyes. And he would see Krishna. You know? Because he's in the mood of Radha. So that's how Jagannath, that's how he would see Jagannath. That's why you'll find some Vaishnavas, they will worship just Jagannath deity. And have you seen that? Some devotees who worship, they just have a deity of Jagannath and Baladev and Subhadra is not there. That's completely bona fide to actually do that, because that is when you just, and it's said when you do worship Jagannath like that, the meditation is more emphasized that that he is Krishna. Yeah. But having said
Do they
that,
call it Jagannath Patita Pavana?
yeah, Jagannath, but yeah, Patita Pavana, that's the name for Jagannath, yeah. But it would be wrong to take it too far and put the flute in Lord Jagannath's hand. Yeah. One time someone did that and Prabhupada chastised them. What have you done? What is this speculation? Jagannath doesn't hold flute. So we don't take it. It's like we don't take it that far. But the meditation of Jagannath for Chaitanya is actually Krishna. And because he sees Krishna, he sees Vrindavan. Yeah. And when he would take darshan from the Garuda Stamba, you know, he would be in an ecstasy of Krishna in the Raj. You know, and he's
I was thinking here in this commentary that Lord Narayana is very kind because he didn't think, oh, he's not giving me due reverence and respect, which some people might get upset about, but he's so kind that he didn't have that ego.
Yeah, yeah. And he's probably, as we know, he's probably relishing it more because all the time he's just his reverence, prayers of reverence, and his Lord is he's worshipped as the great king, the great, and along comes Gopa-kumara in his Stahi Bhava as a Gopa, relating to him and singing songs, just like he's a cowherd boy. And of course, Lord Vishnu likes that very much more. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's very, very nice, this pastime, isn't it? Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Continue. 111.
Yeah, my mind would still feel sad because I couldn't see the Lord and his companions play as they do here in the land of Raj. Occasionally in the gardens of Vaikuntha, I would see my Lord appear as in Raj, performing his pastimes, and I would see the gardens filled with herds of cows. At other times, I would see him sitting as usual on his throne in all splendor, but looking just like my Lord Gopal. Commentary. Sometimes Gopa-kumara caught glimpses of Lord Narayan playing in the Vaikuntha gardens like a cowherd, managing his cows. Even inside the Lord's grand palace, where the Lord sat on his best of thrones, flanked by devotees like Lakshmi, Dharani, Shesha, and Garuda, Gopa-kumara sometimes saw him appearing like Sri Madana-gopala in all aspects of his dress, entourage, and other features.
Okay, so so even though he's in Vaikuntha, he's seeing the opulence of Vaikuntha, but he's seeing through the eyes of his particular attachment to the Lord. So that's how the Lord is manifesting. He sees in instead of Lakshmi, he sees Radharani and Chandravali. Yeah.
Yeah. Even so, because I knew that he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and because I remembered that I had come to Vaikuntha Loka, feelings of respect and reverence would arise in me, and these would block my pure love and leave my mind dissatisfied. Commentary. Seeing Lord Narayana as Madan Gopal pushed aside Gopa-kumara's awareness that the Lord was the almighty controller of everything. But then Gopa-kumara would remember that he was in Vaikuntha, where awe and reverence for the Lord predominate. Affected by the mood of Vaikuntha, Gopa-kumara was unable to feel the same free flow of prema as before.
So he's got conflicting emotions here. Is conflicting emotions. So the worship of the Lord in Vaikuntha is threatens to it's not as sweet as his meditation as the Lord, as Krishna. Yeah. So conflicting emotions sometimes happens in spiritual life. Yeah. And continue.
Yeah. The special favors I had received from Gopaladev in my meditation, his embraces, his kisses, the mercy I had directly obtained, oh, these I couldn't have here, though they are what I desired, and so I felt afflicted. Gopa-kumara expected the object of his devotion to reciprocate with affectionate embraces, kisses, and intimate humorous talks, but these were not forthcoming from Lord Narayana. So Krishna kisses the cowherd boys as well.
So, yeah. Yeah, it's like, yeah, they do when they have wrestling. When they have wrestling, and sometimes they make, Krishna may be a bit rough with one of the cowherd boys who becomes upset. So he may embrace him, kiss him on the cheek, as a loving friend. Please forgive me, like that.
Yeah.
That's Krishna.
Nice. Yeah. Sometimes the Lord would secretly go somewhere with a few of his intimate associates. Then everyone else who had been near him would lament, unable to see their master. Commentary. Couldn't Gopa-kumara feel assured that by the magical influence of life in Vaikuntha, even his hopes for reciprocation might eventually be fulfilled? Perhaps, but he had other reasons to feel unhappy. Text 116. When I would ask what the Lord was doing on those outings, everyone would keep the facts from me like privileged secrets. No one would disclose anything clearly. Commentary. Despite his earnest inquiries, no one told Gopa-kumara where Lord Narayana had gone or why. Anyone who knew was unwilling to discuss the subject openly, because making public news of the private pastimes of the Supreme Lord could disrupt the reverential mood of Vaikuntha.
Right. So it seems like he's not always sitting on the Vaikuntha chair. He goes places. Yeah, the Lord goes places. But it seems like they don't discuss that much. Let's perhaps read on. Yeah, where's he gone? Where is he?
Yeah. Then, at the very moment I inquired, the Lord of the universe would reappear before us, putting our distress to an end and expanding our joy to an ocean. Commentary. From Gopa-kumara's description, it might seem that Vaikuntha was unhappiness, just like everywhere else. But as we can see here, the Lord's absence was only momentary. As soon as the devotees felt distress, the Lord returned. Time is subtler in Vaikuntha than in the mortal realm. An instant in Vaikuntha equals the largest span of time in the mundane world. Sri Maitreya describes this in Sri Bhagatamrta 3.11.38. The duration of the two parts of Brahma's life is calculated to equal 1 nimesa, less than a second, for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the unchanging, the unlimited, the cause of all causes of the universe. This scale of comparative time is only metaphorical, yet such a figurative sense of spiritual time contributes to the charm of the Supreme Lord's Leelas in Vaikuntha. In reality, time in Vaikuntha is not the kind of force it is in the material world. Time does not delimit the lifespan of residents in Vaikuntha, because everything there is eternal and infallible. Lord Narayana's return from his excursions relieved his devotees from their anxiety and expanded the ocean of their ecstasy, just as the moonrise expands the ecstasy of poets.
Yeah, there's descriptions actually in Shivaramraj Swami's book, Venu Gita. I think it describes that actually time we know that time is conspicuous by its absence in the spiritual world. but it's conspicuous by the force that it influences in the material world, because there is a sequence of pastimes of the Lord from time which happens in different times throughout the day, so it does play a role. But for instance, it facilitates Krishna's Leela. So for instance, sometimes like for Ras Leela, for example, then time stops to actually take darshan of the rasa. So it stops. So therefore, from the material perspective, a life of Lord Brahma goes by, because time is completely spellbound by the rasa. So it doesn't move. It's just watching this wonderful exchange of Krishna with the gopis, and the life of Brahma goes by. So time is there in some respect, but it's serving the Leela and it's serving the pastimes. It's all pretty inconceivable, but wonderful to try and understand it. All right.
Yeah. Text 118.
118. Or time check, but perhaps just let's read. Let's have a look. Read the next two verses then.
Yeah. Okay. Whenever my mind, by its own nature, would become disturbed, the vast splendors of the Vaikuntha world would dispel my agitation, as the sun dispels darkness. Commentary. Gopa-kumara's mind remained restless, because in Vaikuntha he was unable to find the object of his desire. Text 119. Whenever it seemed that I had not achieved the object of my desire, and when my heart would therefore suffer, as it often had before, I would remember the root cause of my incompleteness, and that understanding itself would drive away the pain. Commentary. The dissatisfaction Gopa-kumara felt in Vaikuntha had been arranged to help him progress further, to a world even more special and dear. There he would discover the final success of his worship of Sri Madana-gopala's lotus feet. Meanwhile, the powerful influence of Vaikuntha kept him from feeling much distress, even though he had not yet attained his goal. By his intelligence, he could discern that the cause of his suffering was his desire to reach a special place beyond even Vaikuntha, and this understanding was enough to pacify him for the time being. He knew that now that he had reached Vaikuntha, he would surely feel fully satisfied, if not at once, then after only a short while.
So thank you. So it's kind of just to meditate upon that. Has anyone felt dissatisfied before in their spiritual life? Yes.
Every day.
Every day. And that's Krishna's arrangement, because by that satisfaction you'll go deeper, and you'll go deeper, you'll go on, and you'll go forward until you actually get the goal. Just like Gopa-kumara, he's feeling of dissatisfaction at different stations is causing him to go forward. So it's Krishna's mercy, we should always endeavoring. Right, so any comments on that? Otherwise we can stop there for today. Thursday the 25th. There's nice bhajans going to go on here. Pushya Abhishek. In the temple.
Oh yes, Pushya Abhishek Day today.
Yeah. Bhajans, Shivaram Swami Raj is doing bhajans. You can watch it on Mayapur TV. But I better get there, because there might be 10,000 people trying to get in the temple room. So thank you for your kind attention. Thank you for joining us. Nice to have you, Modern Mongol, back with us. Hope to see you again.
Thank you. Thank you, Gayatri, for sending me the link.
No problem. All the best, everyone.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Murli Prabhu ki jai. Thank you, Murli
Hari
Prabhu.
Ram, Hari Ram, 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 Hari Hari.